investigations, the Florida case, the DC case, what did he talk about?
I don't recall him ever talking about Arctic frost or plasma. I don't remember.
Those are some names. Did you talk about the two cases?
Yes, at some point it was not clear to me whether, when he first, my recollection again, and it's not perfect, is it wasn't clear to me if it would be working on one case or the other or both. I'm not clear of how that first came up.
Okay. And these conversations were before President Trump announced that he was running for president?
Yes.
Okay. And were they before the midterm elections in 22?
When were the midterm elections?
November. First Tuesday after the first Monday in November.
I think I spoke to him both before that and after that.
Okay. And then how did it go down then at the end? Did you tell Mr. Miller, you know what, President Trump's announced, they may be considered, how did it go? Did you tell Mr. Miller, I'd be interested if there's an official special counsel, how did it go after President Trump announces? How'd that conversation go?
My recollection of this is that I was asked if I would accept the position if it were offered to me, and that was before President Trump announced his candidacy.
When you were sworn in as special counsel when you were in Amsterdam, is that correct?
Yes.
Who swore you in?
I don't recall.
And was it over Zoom or something?
Don't recall.
Or was someone present? Was, Mr. Cooney or Mr. Cooney and Bratt and several folks came to visit you in Amsterdam, is that right?
Not in Amsterdam. I was in The Hague, in the
Okay.
Netherlands. They probably flew into Amsterdam.
Okay.
Yeah. And yes, they came to see me shortly after I was appointed.
But you don't remember who administered the oath? Who can administer the oath? Like, who's authorized at DOJ to administer the oath?
I don't know.
But you did take an oath. You remember that?
I do recall that, yeah.
But you don't remember whether it was was it in the Netherlands?
I was still in the Netherlands is my recollection.
Okay. So it had to be either a DOJ official came to see you, or it had to be over Zoom, right? Those were the options?
Or over the phone. I don't have a recollection that I can help you here.
Okay. And do you know the total cost of your probe?
I do not.
Rough, can you give a rough estimate? Or?
Well, the special counsel, our office, consistent with past special counsels, gives a public report of expenditures. And the last, I'm not sure if the last one that would cover the last however many period of time was ever actually published. And so you'd have to add that into the total.
Okay.
So that's why I say I don't know.
At the time, the last published report, I think it was at 20 million.
Okay, I don't recall that. Whatever is in the public reporting on this would be accurate.
Okay. The genesis of the alternate electors case started with the National Archives IG. Is that your understanding? They first raised flags that they were receiving alternate electors to the Justice Department.
That I believe would have been well before I was special counsel.
Okay. And when you became special counsel, was that part of your where did the alternate electors case stand, when you became the special counsel in November of 2022?
So the fake elector scheme was part of what I was investigating, and it ultimately became part of the charges in the case.
Okay. But where did it stand as of November 2022?
Where did it stand? I think the people assigned to that investigation were investigating it. Exactly how many interviews they conducted, things of that nature, I can't recall as I sit here right now.
Before you became the special counsel, there was an effort to get DOJ moving on this, and an individual named Amanda Vaughn, a prosecutor on J.P. Cooney's team, indicated that the DOJ would not be pursuing the case. Were you aware of that?
Was this when I was special counsel?
This is before you became special counsel.
I don't recall that.
And so the question ultimately is it seems like the alternate electors matter, it seems like it was subject to a lot of starts and stops. And wanted to know whether, after you became the special counsel in November of 2022, were there any starts and stops, or was that full speed ahead on that probe?
That was a part of the case that we investigated from the time I started until the indictment. It ended up being one of the most powerful parts of the case. We had electors who were going to be witnesses. I referenced earlier a congressman from Pennsylvania who had said this was an attempt to overthrow the government. We had other electors who said, I was told that this would only be used if we won in litigation. And obviously that the record in our case showed that the co-conspirators were trying to use their elector votes despite that fact. And again, this goes to the point I made earlier. These are people who wanted to be electors for Donald Trump. They are not people who are opposed to him. They were not people who are from a different political party or enemies. And so the fact that we had elector witnesses like that who felt either they'd been misled or they felt that this whole effort was an attempt to overthrow the government, I thought that was pretty powerful evidence. And so we moved that part of the investigation forward with the rest of the case.
Did your office coordinate with state officials?
You mean interview state officials?
No, coordinate, several other, state probes cropped up, in Arizona, in Fulton County, Georgia. And I'm wondering how you coordinated those efforts.
I know that we got inquiries from state authorities. I'm aware of that. My recollection is that we did not share any evidence with them. And I don't think, my recollection is we did not get any evidence from them. We got it from, that is my recollection, that it was all or largely from public sources.
Okay. Was there somebody on your team who had responsibility for liaisoning with the Attorney General for the state of Arizona, Chris Mays?
I don't believe so, but also the liaisoning, I don't think that, my recollection is that there was not like an ongoing discussion. What I was thinking of, I know we got a letter, for example, from the Attorney General in New Mexico asking for information from us. I don't have a specific recollection as well as to other states. It may well be that we got other inquiries.
So there was no proactive coordination?
No.
Okay, there was no proactive coordination, regular communications with Chris Mays' office in Arizona?
I don't recall any regular communications, but I'm hesitating just because I don't recall, as I sit here, how many times they might have reached out to us or that sort of thing.
Right. How about with the Fulton County DA's office with Fonnie Willis and Mr. Wade?
Yeah, I've never had contact with either of those people.
Okay, do you know if anyone on the special counsel team, on your team, had contact with them after you were appointed in November of 2022? I
don't believe so. I will just say, though, that one of the things we were investigating was things that happened in Fulton County. Particularly, there was an election worker by the name of Ruby Freeman, her mother, and she was the mother of a woman named Shay Moss. They were people that Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump targeted with absolutely false claims of election fraud, claims that Rudy Giuliani later admitted he didn't have evidence for, claims that he was held liable in defamation for, caused them to endure all these sort of vile threats. And that whole episode, as well as sort of the claims, the false claims about the vote count in Fulton County, we did look into that and collect evidence. I don't have a recollection as I sit here, that we interacted with the Fulton County DA's office for that, but if we did, it would be only for that.
Okay, did you try to deconflict their prosecution from what you were working on?
Well, we didn't, I was not interested in sharing information with them, so I did not give them information. I'm not even sure, testing my recollection now, but I don't even think we got a request for information from them.
Did you have coordination as far as scheduling was concerned?
I don't recall anything like that.
Okay. Because their proceedings were going on concurrently with your DC case, with the Florida case. So you don't remember you or anyone on your team having communications with Fulton County to coordinate scheduling?
No, I was aware, obviously, that their case was pending, but I did not coordinate any scheduling with them.
Okay. How about with the Attorney General for the state of Michigan?
Again, it may be that they requested information from us. As I sit here right now, I should say I don't have a really good recollection of this subject matter you're talking
Okay.
about, but I don't recall us giving them information, and I don't recall getting information from them.
Who on your team would have that information?
Well, Thomas Wyndham and Molly Gaston led that case, and
Okay.
along with J.P. Cooney, that would probably be
Okay.
people who might recall these things
Okay.
with more specificity than I am.
Okay. So if somebody has the information, one of those three people should be able to help us?
There may be other people in the office as well. I'm saying them because they were the direct supervisors of the prosecutors on that case, and they may have a better recollection.
Same question with the District Attorney of New York's office. Did your office have any communications with that office, coordination?
No recollection of that.
Did you have any communications regarding scheduling?
Again, I have no recollection of that. I
Okay.
was aware of their case pending, but I don't recall any coordination with them.
Did your office or anyone at DOJ, to your knowledge, try to dissuade the District Attorney of New York from bringing that case?
I do not recall that at all. And that I'll just say I have a better memory. I do not remember anything like that.
Were you enthusiastic that the District Attorney of New York was bringing that case?
No, I didn't take any position about it.
Okay, because, it was going on at the same time that you were trying to move forward your two cases, correct?
Correct.
And you didn't have a view that the case out of the District Attorney of New York's office was going to be a distraction? Litigating whether there's payments to some performer and how that relates to, the Trump Organization's accounting protocols. I mean, that is very different from the two cases you were pursuing.
Yeah, the two cases are completely different.
And so the question was, do you think that the District Attorney of New York's case presented a distraction for what you were trying to accomplish?
A distraction. I don't know that I thought about it that way. I can't recall any discussions along those lines.
I mean, there were a number of times when you wanted to be in court in DC, and you had to work around the president's schedule because he was in court in Manhattan, correct?
I'm not sure that's right. Maybe that's right. I don't know if there's a record about that. I don't, was there, I shouldn't be asking you questions,
Yeah.
but is there, I don't recall.
Yeah, there is.
Okay. So I'm not disputing you then.
I mean, one of the issues is, the president was represented by, he had his team of lawyers. It was pretty small group. They weren't backed by big law, right? So they didn't enjoy a robust, hundreds of, lawyers back at the office to be able to digest some of these things. And so, President Trump's lawyers, were required to be in New York part of the week, and then they had to come to DC, and then they had to go to Florida. And so the question is, did you ever coordinate with the District Attorney of New York to, maybe not be at trial one day so you could have the